Hi friends, whether you are the president of a company or the janitor, the moment you step from independence into interdependence in any capacity, you step into a leadership role. You are in a position of influencing other people, and the habit of effective interpersonal leadership is think win-win. Today we all have to deal with the people in all the way, while doing business negotiations, while working with organization, while maintaining relations. Sometimes we win, sometimes we lose. But do you know there are 6 paradigms of interactions? Let's begin. First, in leadership style, win-lose is the authoritarian approach. I get my way, you don't get yours. Win-lose people are prone to use power, position, credentials, possessions or personality to get their way. Once manager success means failure for the other managers. If I win, you lose. Actually, we all have been deeply involved in following scripted agencies like family, peers, academic, athletics, law, etc. In family, if I'm better than my brother, my parents will love me more. My parents don't love me as much as they love my sister. I must not be as valuable. In friends and peers, they often accept or reject totally on the basis of conformity to their expectations and norms, like good job, good marks, good grades, etc. If you have all these things, then you are the winner, or else they'll tag you as a loser. The academic world reinforces win-lose scripting. The normal distribution curve basically says that you got an A because someone else got C. It interprets an individual's value by comparing him or her to everyone else. In athletics, particularly for young men in their high school or college years, often they develop the basic paradigm that life is a big game, a zero-sum game where some win, some lose. Winning is beating in the athletic arena. Suddenly there's a place for win-lose thinking in truly competitive and low-trust situation. But most of life is not a competition. We don't have to live each day competing with our spouse, our children, our co-workers, our neighbors and our friends. In reality, most of life is an interdependent and not an independent. Most results you want depend on cooperation between you and others, and the win-lose mentality is dysfunctional to that cooperation. Now there's another paradigm, lose-win. Lose-win is worse than win-lose because it has no standards, no demands, no expectations, no vision. People who think lose-win are usually quick to please or appease. Lose-win means being a nice guy, even if nice guys finish last. Win-lose people love lose-win people because they can feed on them. They love their weaknesses. They take advantage of them. Such weaknesses complement their strengths. But the problem is that lose-win people bury a lot of feelings. But win-lose and lose-win are weak positions based in personal insecurities. Now let's see lose-lose paradigms. When two win-lose people get together, that is when two determined, stubborn, ego-invested individuals interact. The result will be lose-lose. Both will lose. Say for example in divorce, in which the husband was directed by the judge to sell the assets and turn over half the proceeds to the ex-wife. In compliance, he sold a car worth over $10,000 for $50 and gave $25 to the wife. When the wife protested, the court clerk checked on the situation and discovered that the husband was proceeding in the same manner systematically through all of the assets. So lose-lose is the philosophy of adversarial conflict, the philosophy of war. If nobody ever wins, perhaps being a loser isn't so bad. Another common alternative is simply to think win. People with win mentality don't necessarily want someone else to lose. That's irrelevant. What matters is that they get what they want. When there is no sense of contest or competition, win is probably the most common approach in everyday negotiation. A person with the win mentality thinks in terms of securing his own ends and leaving it to others to secure theirs. The next paradigm is win-win. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win-win means that agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial, mutually satisfying. Win-win is based on the paradigm that there's plenty for everybody, that one person's success is not achieved at the expense or exclusion of success of others. Win-win is a belief in third alternative. It's not your way or my way, it's a better way, a higher way. So which option is the most effective? The answer is it depends. If you win a football game, that means the other team loses. He is a supplier to a company for example, and he wins on his terms in a particular negotiation. He may get what he wants now, but will you come to him again? His short-term win will really be a long-term lose if he doesn't get your repeat business. So an interdependent win-lose is really lose-lose in long run. If you value a relationship and the issue isn't really that important, you may want to go for lose-win in some circumstances to genuinely affirm the other person. There are circumstances in which you would want to win and you wouldn't be highly concerned with the relationship of that win to others. If your child's life were in danger, for example, you might be peripherally concerned about other personal circumstances, but saving that life would be supremely important. There's one more paradigm apart from this: win-win or no deal. No deal basically means that if we can't find a solution that would benefit both of us, we agree for no deal. No expectations have been created, no performance contracts established. I don't hire you, or we don't take on a particular assignment together because it's obvious that our values or our goals are going in opposite directions. The win-win or no deal approach is most realistic at the beginning of a business relationship or enterprise. In a continuing business relationship, no deal may not be a viable option, which can create serious problems, especially for family businesses or businesses that are begun initially on the basis of friendship. The principle of win-win is fundamental to success in all our interactions, and it embraces 5 interdependent dimensions of life. It begins with character and moves towards relationships, out of which flow agreements. It is nurtured in an environment where structure and system are based on win-win, and it involves process. We cannot achieve win-win ends with win-lose or lose-win means. Now let's see 3 character traits essential to the win-win paradigm: integrity, maturity, abundance mentality. Integrity is the quality of being honest. If we can't make and keep commitments to ourselves as well as to others, our commitments become meaningless. Integrity is the cornerstone and the foundation. Maturity is the balance between courage and consideration. If I'm high on courage and low on consideration, how will I think? Win-lose. I'll be strong and ego-bound. I'll have the courage of my convictions, but I won't be very considerate of yours. And if I'm high on consideration and low on courage, I'll think lose-win. I'll be so considerate of your convictions and desires that I won't have the courage to express and actualize my own. Abundance mentality means there's plenty out there for everybody. Most people are deeply scripted in what I call the scarcity mentality. They see life as having only so much, as though there were only one pie out there, and if someone were to get a big piece of that pie, it would mean less for everybody else. This scarcity mentality is the zero-sum paradigm of life. It results in sharing of prestige, recognition, profits, and decision making. It opens possibilities, options, alternatives, and creativity. A character rich in integrity, maturity, and the abundance mentality has a genuineness that goes far beyond technique or lack of it in human interactions. So let's see next dimension: relations. The trust, the emotional bank account is the essence of win-win. If your emotional bank account is high, then credibility is no longer an issue. So what does emotional bank account means? We all know what a financial bank account is. We make deposits into it and build up a reserve for which we can make withdrawals when we need to. An emotional bank account is a metaphor that describes the amount of trust that's been built up in a relationship. If I make deposits into an emotional bank account with you through courtesy, kindness, honesty, and keeping my commitments to you, I build up a reserve. So high emotional bank account always helps to maintain relations. So let's see next dimension: agreements. Win-win agreements cover a wide scope of interdependent interaction. A clear mutual understanding and agreement upfront in these areas creates a standard against which people can measure their own success. A true win-win agreement is the product of the paradigm, the character, and the relationships out of which it grows. In that context, it defines and directs the interdependent interactions for which it was created. So the next is systems. Win-win can only survive in an organization where the systems support it. So often the problem is in the system, not in the people. If you put good people in bad systems, you get bad results. You have to water the flowers you want to grow. In education, teachers can set up grading systems based on an individual's performance in the context of agreed upon criteria, and can encourage students to cooperate in productive ways to help each other learn and achieve. Next is process. There's no way to achieve win-win ends with win-lose or lose-win means. You can't say you are going to think win-win whether you like it or not. So the question becomes how to arrive at a win-win solution. So the author suggests 4-step process. First, see the problem from other point of view. Really seek to understand and to give expression to the needs and concern of the other party as well as or better than they can themselves. Second, identify the key issues and concerns involved. Third, determine what results would constitute a fully acceptable solution. And fourth, identify possible new options to achieve those results. So think about an upcoming interaction wherein you will be able to attempting to reach an agreement or negotiate a solution. Commit to maintain a balance between courage and consideration. So friends, this is all about for the 4th habit of Think Win-Win from the book The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. You can grab your copy from the link I've given in the description below. That's all for this video. Please hit the like button if you really feel this video pushed you a little ahead, and share this with your dear ones. Comment if you have any suggestion for our channel, and don't forget to subscribe for more such videos on weekly content. Thanks a lot.